Hello, everybody. We are live on Facebook, and I am Love Coach Scott Catamas, and welcome to Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe. And it's a very special show, and we're glad you're watching. Here we go. I love that song. I gotta say, I love that song. Thank you, Larissa Stowe, for creating the Saturday Night Alive theme song. Well, tonight we have a really beautiful show. We are bringing in elders from many different traditions to share their wisdom with us. And it's going to be a powerful show and an important show. And for those of you who are watching on Facebook, because we're now live on Facebook, and I know a lot of you are watching live via Unify and our other broadcast partners, you can still come into our Zoom room. We've got 150 people right now in the Zoom room, so there's plenty of room for you to come in. And what's nice about being in the Zoom room with us is that way it's easier for us to chat with you, and you come in by registering. You go to globalpeacetribe.com. Go to globalpeacetribe.com. It's very easy to register. It takes about 30 seconds. And then we have your email. And once we have your email address, don't worry, we're not going to give it to anybody else. But we'll send you the replay on Monday. So you have not just the replay of tonight's show, but access to all of our previous shows. We've done over 30 shows now on all sorts of amazing topics. You'll also get invitations to all of our new seasons, all of our new shows, all of our new episodes. So definitely, please go to globalpeacetribe.com and join us. And that way you can come into the Zoom room. Also, sometimes after the show, we have community connections time. We might do that tonight, where people from the Zoom room come on and actually talk about what inspired them, what really touched them. We also have people from all over the world watching, and start a watch party. For those of you on Facebook, or even if you're in the Zoom room, you can still start a Facebook watch party. And that's really fun. That's how we get this information and communication out to the world. And if you do start a watch party, send me a private message on Facebook and I'll acknowledge you. All right. We're growing this beautiful global peace tribe, and it's happening. You know, Deborah and I started this show. We thought it would be a one-time little online offering to raise some money for a friend. And it's grown into this international event with people watching us every Saturday night. And we're reaching about 50,000 people now. And it's because you are sharing it out to the world. So thank you very much. Tonight's show is one of the most important shows we've ever done because there's so much wisdom that we're going to be experiencing and receiving. And to tell you more about it, I'm turning it over to my dear friend, my producing partner, Deborah Giusti.
Thank you, Scott, and welcome everyone to what is now our 32nd show that we've done every Saturday night during the lockdown. It's been incredibly special, and tonight is going to be very, very special with our themes of supporting the wisdom of the Indigenous elders. And we also have a show coming up for our winter season. And again, thank you so much for your donations that you have given us to keep this show going. This really helps us create a really spectacular show for you each week. And again, this is one of our most special shows because our theme is honoring Indigenous wisdom, co-creating global community. And if you've followed our show, you know that tends to be a theme of the Global Peace Tribe. And we found out that a lot of the Indigenous elders, especially at this time, are also coming together and saying this important message. And so we'd love to bring these elders from all over the world to you to say what's really needed for us to hear at this important, unprecedented time in the planet. We're also going to follow up tomorrow and have a Sunday show so we can go even deeper into some of the wisdom of the Indigenous elders, and we'll tell you more about that later. So I'd like to share with you now some of the elders that we have brought on to be on the show. We will be featuring Laura Espinosa Cuadras, and she is the co-founder of the first holistic center in the city. And she has been leading women's circles, tribal dances, and sweat lodges since 1996. And we're happy to have back Chief Phil Lane. He's an enrolled member of the Yatonkan, Dakota, and the Chickasaw Nations, and is an internationally recognized leader in the nation. We're also going to have Calixto Suarez. She is the wisdom of the Araco people. She's a Araco Indian in the area of Sierra Nevada. What matters most to her is that lands are healthy, water is pure, and the wind is free. We will also have Patricio Dominguez. He's a spiritual guide. His mission is to connect people to the natural and spiritual world and to bridge the wisdom of the ancient ones of the world today. We are going to have Ukwala. He's a member of the Havasupai tribe, and he's recognized as a ceremonial entity, spiritual advisor to unions, births, blessings, and healings. We are also blessed to have Chase Iron Eyes. He's with the Lakota People's Project. He led counsel for the Lakota Law Project. He was really prominent in Standing Rock and much of the civil rights of Native Americans. And we're thrilled to have Adam Damon Yellowbird with us, who helped us co-produce the show. He is an associate producer, and he's worked for the last 20 years with Indigenous elders around the world to bring the past with the future through public events, conferences, and personal exchange. We are going to also have some incredible musicians. We're going to have Joanne Shenandoah. She is America's most celebrated and critically acclaimed Native American. She is a Grammy winner of over 40 musical awards for her 18 recordings. And we're bringing back Sister Stone, who we love, and we're bringing her back because she has such a love for Native life, living, and wisdom, and that comes through her music so beautifully. So we're so happy to have her back. And we'll also experience some fancy dance with Kevin Locke. So we invite you to invite your friends to come join us still tonight on Zoom, post in the chat room, share the link, and we're going to send you the replay right after this on Monday if you've registered with us. And this time we are going to be having the Green Love in the GoFundMe that comes out go back out to the Native community. So we are going to be funding the International Center for Spiritual and Ancestral Wisdom, which Adam runs, and we'll talk more about that, but that is definitely to spearhead and dedicate preserving ancient wisdom and traditions of the indigenous cultures. And we are going to be posting that link in the chat room so you can directly send your green love energy to that organization, and that will go out to the indigenous people. And now I want to introduce our co-host, Adam Yellowbird. He's an amazing being, and for the last 20 years, he's worked with Indigenous elders all around the world. He was born a medicine man. He received training and spiritual initiations from Indigenous elders during his whole life, which includes, but not limited to, the Lakota, the Hopi, the Havasupai, the Cherokee, Koji, Arapaho, Mayan, and the list goes on. And it has been his deep heart dedication to synthesize the wisdom from our ancestors with modern technology to create a better world and get this wisdom out to the world, which is what we're doing here tonight. And so we're so happy that he has brought incredible people to this show and has helped us produce this show. And so we are going to invite him. And also want to honor, before I do that, another important person for this show, Jay, Mayer, and Light Touch, who made this show possible. It was his brainchild to do this theme, and us all working together with Chireya Dharma and Jan Kaplan is how this wonderful show was created for you. So I want to honor them as well. And now I want to bring on Adam to say a little bit more about this show and introduce our first musician and ceremonialist that's coming on. Thank you, Adam, for being with us and all your incredible work for helping us do this show.
Yes. Oh, good evening, good morning to all my relatives around the world right now. It's a great honor to be here. The heart of the heavens, the heart of the Mother Earth, and to each and every one of your hearts here this evening or morning time where you may reside. It was many, many years ago, the elders had spoke about this time that we're living in, the transformation, the prophecies, all of the things that would transpire to lead us to this time. And for that encouragement and strength, as a young man, that's what I had the opportunity to take and introspect and look at that myself, and to be able to dive deeper into that cycle, into the prophetic times that we're in now. And what I'd like to say in the beginning of this show, that this is the greatest time for each and every one of us to live in. This is what we came here for, to watch the transformational times, uniting the ancient wisdom and the technology of today in through your hearts, mind, bodies, and spirits. And so through that calling forth and the transmissions vibrationally, that we may be able to receive not only the things that are being spoken here, but receive vibrations from these elders and each of the wisdom keepers and the musicians that are here, and all that led us to this point in time. So my main efforts and works is to be in harmony and stay in tune with the natural world, with the earth, air, fire, and water, and do my very best to stay in harmony and in balance with the laws of origin that have been here from time immemorial in this planet, and that has been resonant with each and every one of us that is listening here today. And it's just a great honor to be a part of carrying the knowledge of our ancestors, of the elders. That's basically what I'm doing, and holding that container and safeguard for the future generations. And so that's been our efforts here. I'd like to also introduce here, we'll be sharing more about what I've been doing and how our efforts through the International Center of Spiritual and Ancestral Wisdom and what we do throughout the Americas and around the world. But I feel the way that we do things around the sacred fire, in which, as illuminated as this computer may be, we have the sacred fire going day and night outside here. So with great respect to our ancestors, with great respect to our holy men and holy women, and to our spiritual guides and leaders, I would like to ask my elder here, Yukwala, to bring that forth, to invoke and to call forth the opening of this new gateway, this new doorway, this new vibration of the unification of the technology and ancestral wisdom. We'd like to welcome you. I've known Yukwala for many, many, many years, over 23 years, I do believe, and we met exactly at that point around the sacred fire, sharing and learning the wisdom. Yukwala, from my heart to your heart, all my blessings and love and gratitude. Please help us and guide us to open this show and this transmission.
I offer the essence of the sacredness of the corn that has brought life to all the peoples that are the earth-based tribes, the essence of the four-leggeds that have allowed for the bundles to be carried forth, and bringing that seed forth, we just do a simple sprinkling on to this moment, this event, this, the Mother Earth. It is so important that within the time that we have, the time is moving so rapidly that now we need to think and do and be able to embrace and impart and integrate into the earth walk. In the traditions, especially those that are in communicate with the divine source, it has always been said within those moments, Magwawa, it simply means just talk to me. In this sense, I bring forth the communication to this divine creator source to open up this time of heart-led spiritual flow. Divine source, this moment, those that are gathered, those that will gather in the time to come, the essence of a tool that we use now so that we share within the image and the voice throughout this, the Mother Earth. We are in cycles that are of such tumultuous now that we are not sure of what that next step is. Though within that speak with you, divine source, you have said, return back to me. That return back to me is simply saying the essence of that Mother Earth. The teachers that you seek are not necessarily in the two-legged form. It is all I have created, divine source says. The rock people, the tree people, the winged people, all that is around are those teachers that you call upon. The moments where the cycles are in such dysfunction. And if you are basing solely on leadership, divine source has said no. The essence of leadership comes through the collective and the unity of a tribe. That tribe encompasses all the two-leggeds of this, the Mother Earth. This brings in the other nations that are there, the rock people, the tree people, the winged people, all that is creation, divine source. We call upon you. Awaken within those hearts, those that will be speaking this evening, the gifting of that oratory that you bring forth. We offer this in ways so that we, your children, we, your tools, are able to carry it forth in that next step and that next heartbeat, so that we then can bring in clarity and illumination to this time of dysfunction. Allow the leadership to be all of us as a collective, one unified heart. Let it be in the way that is going to be inclusive of everything. The beauty that is there to say of all the sacredness, the colors, the red, the yellow, the black, the white, the essence of the symbols that are there that remind us of those connections with that of all creation. Divine creator source, wake us. Vanyam Bam Uka, Bam of Soka, Bam Wiwoka, Bam Jevka. Divine creator source, see us, hear us, heal us, and allow for us to step in the way that is good. Awikegana, wazit adim, wakabish for them, he buys it, Joseph, Awan with you, Ayo Hogana, Sabuno, Ayo Kegana, wazit adim, wakabish for them, he buys it, Joseph, Awan with you. Wavan Pam Uka, Pam of Soka, Pam Wiwoka. Wanyam Nyamato Chubla Nibalma Yudika, Mahano, Balma Baka, Pam Tasnuname, Nibaki Jimja, New Park of Avo, divine creator source in this time that we are in the need of light. Come in through all that you created, we your tools, so that we may then now from this point on walk in the way that is good as one unified, complete tribe throughout all that is of creation. Many, many blessings.
I'd like to just ask for us to have a few moments of silence to take in his prayer, his beautiful, powerful prayer. Blessing. Thank you. One of the goals of Saturday Night Alive is to introduce you, our audience, to important voices. And certainly all of these elders have a lot of wisdom. And so we want to encourage you to write down the websites, visit them, visit the websites, learn more. And who we just heard from, Ukwala, you can find him at ukwala.com, UQUALLA.com. Again, he's a medicine man, intuitive lecturer, facilitator, ceremonial, a life coach, clearly a wisdom keeper. And yes, but you like it. Ukwala, thank you so much for blessing us with your presence and getting us off to such a beautiful start. Thank you. When we did our first Indigenous Elders show, we had the pleasure of meeting Chief Phil Lane, and we wanted to ask him to come back, and he very graciously has done so. And Phil has some very important messages for us. So Phil, welcome back to the show. It's really good to have you with us.
Yes. Thank you so much, Scott. Midakiepi, my very, very beloved members of our human family, past, present, future. I want to extend a very warm and loving handshake and embrace to each and every one of you. I want to thank my dear brother, Ukwala, who always inspires my soul to deeper spiritual understanding. My dear brother, thank you. And thank you for standing so many days at Standing Rock, dancing so many days. Even when you were by yourself, you never stopped to dance. I thank you so much. And Toshka Adam, thank you. Thank you so much. You have truly helped weave this incredible tapestry, this now unfolding of the union of the condor, the quetzal, and the eagle. On June 20th, 2020, at 5:44 p.m. PDT, a spiritual impulse was felt across the Americas during World Unity Week, in a 24-hour ceremony around the world with Indigenous people, that the union of the condor, the quetzal, and the eagle has formed, and the prophecy of the reunion was fulfilled. This union brings together, already digitally connecting 78 million Indigenous peoples, and that's just from 11 nation states across the Americas. That's the fourth largest nation state in the Americas. It does include other relatives. To get a size of this, to the north of the Mexican border, there's 6 million Indigenous relatives. The south, there's another 72 million at minimum. More than 500 years ago, there was across the Americas the most enlightened, the most illumined civilization that humankind had ever witnessed in recorded history. And because we had a common spiritual foundation across the Americas, and we lived here in relative peace and harmony. We had kinship trails across the Americas that bound us together in the union of the condor and the eagle. Scholars now estimate to be 108 million human beings. And we knew from our sacred prophecies, as so beautifully open explained here, that a spiritual winter time was coming. A spiritual winter time would last over 500 years, as all the sacred calendars told us from every tradition. And so, as prophesied, as we see systems breakdowns everywhere, the indigenous peoples of Mother Earth and across the Americas, and all our relatives and ancestors are having breakthroughs through all the systems. We're rising. We're rising because we can only make the path visible by walking it. When we started our ceremonial process, February 6, 2020, at Armageddon, outside of Haifa, Israel, where we came together with more than 22 different faith traditions, and we prayed for the end of war. Because we have our interpretation of those four horsemen from our own sacred prophecies that are very different. We knew the time was coming. And we also knew, even though there was going to be an equinox, which we had prayers across the hemisphere, 8 hours we connected, praying. And then again in June, over 24 hours. We knew from the beginning that where the time would be, somehow intuitively, would be December 21st, 2020, would be something very special. As we went through Peace Month, all the peace activities, but then it became so urgent, and we knew we needed to go down to Chickasaw Nation territory to Trail of Tears on November 2nd to begin praying for forgiveness and gratitude for all that's happened to us. Because all of this that's unfolding is part of a design far greater than any one of us could ever understand. And it's a union far beyond this physical plane of time and space. I want to play and share a little excerpt from a video we just released. Because simultaneous to November 2nd, I'd shared this with a dear sister, Fumi, from Peace Prevail on Earth, and she shared it with Dr. Dot Maver. And Dot, as you know, has these, for 30 years, these global silent minutes. And then when she heard about our November 2nd, and other people felt it too, then she shared these incredible astrological dimensions of what is really unfolding here. And so we're going to share this now.
Oh, heartfelt gratitude. It is an honor. Hello, heartfelt hello to all my brothers and sisters with whom I am now sharing. And yes, I too appreciated that conversation very much, Brother Phil, and appreciate your posts giving deep, deep wisdom into the world through your sharings and this sense of the inner knowing of our Indigenous brothers and sisters around the world that we are coming to grasp as the knowing for all of us. So gratitude.
Thank you.
And let me begin by saying that when we were speaking, what I just became on fire with this, because we are living at a moment in time when all of the great cycles are turning and changing at once. From the greater 250,000 year cycle to 25,000 year cycle to 2,500-year cycle. I mean, the experience of shifting, as we know, from the Piscean energies into the Aquarian energies. And so what is happening is we are experiencing this all systems breakdown on the planet. At the same time, simultaneously experiencing an all systems breakthrough. And when we stay identified in the life aspect, in the heart of hearts, the cosmic heart herself, with the mother, the great mother, we then know that this is all part of what is unfolding on this beautiful planet we all call home. So when you mentioned November 2nd, 2020, was the heliocentric conjunction, the exact coming together heliocentrically of Saturn, one of the great planets, and Jupiter, another. And as Saturn and Jupiter come together, representing light and love in the heavens, they come together in Aquarius for the first time in many, many, many years. And in fact, they will be together then 49 days later, and I think of the 49 fires, right? 49 days later on solstice in December, the 21st, they will come together geocentrically, the way we recognize traditionally in astrology, a conjunction in the sky. And it is said that when Saturn and Jupiter came together in Pisces at 0 degrees Pisces, Jesus was born. And when Saturn and Jupiter came together at 0 degrees Taurus, way, way back, it was the Buddha. And we could go back and back to each of these signs, and a great one is born among us. So what does it herald? That in 2020, on December 21st, these two great planets, Saturn, Father Time, the planet that oversees our karma, and Jupiter, that great planet of benevolence and joy and opportunity, come together exactly at 0 degrees Aquarius. And it will happen 4 times over the next period of times. The next one would be 80 years later. Well, the 3 magi, according to the Christian tradition, right, followed the star. Well, I would say they were following the stars. Those 2 in the sky became the Star of Bethlehem. It was so bright. It will happen again in Aquarius on December 21st. And that bright star heralds what? That's the question for us to answer. And I think you answer that actually better than me, Brother Phil. But by whatever name, the coming one, Maitreya, the reappearance of the Christ, by Allah, by whatever name, maybe it's in our hearts. Maybe it's the heart of humanity awakening. Maybe that's what it is this time. But the other piece of this is that the dual origins must come together in fiery equilibrium, or we will never know peace on earth. We cannot continue patriarchal, matriarchal, mostly patriarchal societies and influence.
Yes.
We must come together. And so you see the mother of the world behind me here. So the great mother comes forth and lifts her veil after all these centuries. It was so painful. Her children were too violent and couldn't get along. She's lifting her veil as we come to the 21st of December, and those dual origins, the male and female, will come into a fiery balance, a fiery equilibrium over these next years and centuries. And that is why we're here right now. We are here to mark that, to speak to that, to pray to that, to herald that, to honor that.
Yes. And when we first visited, you mentioned as well, going forward from the time of Jesus, this occurred at the same time as well as Muhammad's coming.
Yes. Yes. So yes, exactly. This is the conjunction. And so I call it astrologic. And when we look at it through those eyes of the heart, and we recognize our oneness, the depth of our interconnectedness, there is no question now. And so it is time for us to come together in unity and to stand in that knowing and to look to the skies and say, hail, brothers and sisters.
Yes, yes, yes. So Shinka, we go. We I would just like to share that I'll put things in the chat. We're going to disclose some documents we have never done before. We're going to share them so you can see what's unfolding. As we say, inclusion. Shinkmano Hemeado, Chinupa Sapa Hemeado, Haulimi Chante Washte. My names are Shinkmano and Chinupa Sapa, and I stand responsible before the Creator for my words and my actions. Aho. Thank you so much.
You know, I love what you said about it being the heart of humanity. And may that be so. May the great awakening that we're all wanting happen. Chief Phil has so much to provide. And so I really want to encourage everyone, please write this down. His website, onepeopletribalnation.org. onepeopletribalnation.org. And thank you, Phil, for being on our show. Thank you for the work you're doing everywhere. You're doing so much good work. I see you on some of the other platforms and some of our other partners, and you know, you're just such a beautiful, beautiful soul. And I love your passion. I love your passion.
And by the way, if you didn't have all those qualities, you couldn't see them in me. That's a fact.
I will receive that with grace and
yes. Thank you so much.
Now I'm going to bring our host, Adam Yellowbird, back on, and he is going to share with us. We're really excited that tomorrow we're doing a very special show. I have a show that I do every Sunday morning called Sacred Sundays with Scott and Friends. And tomorrow we are going to have Adam, and we're going to also have Laura from Mexico, Calixto coming into us from Colombia, and Lupita, who's going to be doing translating for us because they primarily speak Spanish. And so we're very, very excited about that. And to introduce Laura and Lupita, here's Adam.
Hello. Yes, thank you, Lexi, for that wisdom. What you were sharing brought a lot of tears and emotions up for me, because we have arrived at this time. And like she was sharing, this is the pinnacle point for us all and why we've arrived.
Yes.
With great honor, too, I'd like to introduce Lupita. She's my adopted sister from Mexico. We've been together for, I'm sure, over 20 years now, and learning and growing together, fasting together, dancing together, working on an international multicultural earth dance in Mexico, along with our great elder and grandmother, Laura, and which is also adopted family member of mine. And it's just such an honor to be working with her. I wouldn't be where I'm at today without walking by your side, Lupita and Laura, in many, 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 many years and many experiences. And I thank you so much for joining us, both of you, on the show and helping the transmissions through Calixto to be present here with us. So with a warm welcome, and through that mission and intention and the seed of dancing for the Mother Earth and the resurrection and restoration of the sacred sites and the land, the earth, the people, and the future generations, I'd like to welcome you, Lupita, to share, and if we can open that up to you. Thank you. Aho.
Sí, gracias, Adam, y a todos los hermanos y las hermanas aquí, y con el permiso de sus corazones, y agradeciendo este momento del gran espíritu que nos permite reunirnos hoy aquí. Es pues un honor estar entre estas hermanos, estas personas que sienten, que piensan y que vibran como lo hacemos nosotros, y que cada uno desde su espacio comparte su vivencia, su corazón a lo que quiere aportar en estos tiempos que estamos viviendo.
So thank you so much, Adam, brothers and sisters. I'm very, very grateful from my heart. Thank you, Great Spirit, for gathering everybody here. I'm very, very honored to be between all these brothers and sisters and all these people that are vibrating and feeling from their hearts in the same way. And also sharing from their own spaces, from their hearts, what they're going to share to the world through this way.
Y de acuerdísimo con todo lo que están compartiendo, que estos tiempos han sido de dolor, de sufrimiento, de miedo, terror, pánico, pero que después de la oscuridad viene la luz, es innegable, y la luz abre todo lo que no podemos alcanzar a ver con los ojos humanos. Entonces, este tiempo es para decidir cada uno de nosotros cómo quiere vivirlo, desde qué espacio de su corazón, desde el temor, el dolor o desde el amor. Entonces, preparémonos para ello.
So I completely agree with everything that's been said up until this point. And then these times have been very difficult. They've been full of fear and panic and suffering, of a little bit of darkness, but there's always that light, that undeniable light that opens everything that we don't actually see with our human eyes, but it's already there. So right now it's a very decisive moment. We're deciding how we want to live all this, how we want to share from our spaces, from our hearts. Do we want to share it from the pain, or do we want to share from our love?
Hoy, este momento, como dice Adam, es el momento de unir a la humanidad con la tecnología. Muchos temen a la tecnología, pero es maravilloso poder estar comunicándonos desde cada quien en su lugar, y quizá en estos momentos no podemos viajar, no podemos reunirnos, abrazarnos, pero la energía del amor está presente, el espíritu no importa la carne, no importa la materia, no importa el tiempo, el espacio, somos. Y en ese ser es que estamos compartiéndonos hoy desde este espacio, pero para todo el planeta. Aunque no estuviera alguien presente escuchándonos, la vibración del amor llega hasta el último rincón de nuestro planeta. ¿Y qué digo el planeta? El universo. Entonces, soy fiel creyente de que esto está sucediendo porque así lo estamos viendo, lo estamos recibiendo de los ancestros, estamos reconociendo ese sabiduría, ese camino, esas profecías, pero nosotros somos los que estamos esperando. Entonces, hacer lo que nos toca hacer desde el bienestar.
So today, it's the moment, just as Adam said right now, where we unite. We unite the whole humanity with the technology, because it's so wonderful nowadays that we cannot travel sometimes, we cannot see each other, we cannot hug each other, but through this way, we can communicate with each other. And there's that energy of love that spirit is, that connects us to each other. And even though there's no time, there's no material, there's no space when we talk about spirit, it wouldn't matter if we were all here together or not. The vibration of that love, spirit will carry it out everywhere. And also, I'm a believer that all of this is happening, so we are those we've been waiting for. So we're here sharing. or wisdom or path or love.
Y con amor, con saber exactamente qué queremos hacer, desde el pensar, el hablar, el actuar, en esa integridad es lo que podemos aportar al universo. Entonces, aquí estamos.
So with love, knowing what we want to give, how we think, how we talk, how we act, how we align, that's the integrity that we're going to share to the world. So that's my message for you guys today. And again, inviting everybody tomorrow, Sunday at 10 a.m. Please come. Laura, grandmother Laura, and also Calixta will be sharing more wisdom from their own people and sharing their knowledge to all of us through this marvelous platform. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you both so much. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow morning. So please, everybody, join us at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific time for a very powerful opportunity to really learn much more from Laura. And for anybody who wants to write this down, a good way to reach her, to get more input from her, ICSAW.com is Adam Yellowbird's organization. We're going to be talking a lot about that tonight. That's our organization we're supporting. And you just go to /elders-ICSAW, and you'll be able to find her. And I also want to acknowledge Lupita. Lupita has done such a wonderful job for us of being willing to translate. And she's not only translating tonight, she's translating tomorrow. And she's also been working with Shariah and myself for the past several days, passing messages on back and forth. So thank you so much, Lupita. And you can also get more information from her by going to that same place, /elders-ICSAW. Lupita, you are such a gem. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now I'm turning it back over to my partner, Deborah, to introduce some very special music.
Thank you, Scott. And yes, these messages have been so incredible. Thank you all. And now we get to continue to raise the energy with some music with Sister Stone. She's one of our favorite musicians that we've brought back many times, and especially during the times when we host the Indigenous elders, because her heart and her soul is deeply connected to Mother Earth. She lives her life in the earth, close to the earth, and her music comes out with that incredible vibration of love for it. And she's also an amazing musician that we just love. So thank you, Sister Stone, for coming back with us and sharing your heart and your soul during this special show tonight.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. My name is Shayna Gladstone, also Sister Stone, and I inhabit colonized Anishinaabe land in Oak Park, Michigan. And I come from a lineage on my maternal side of Native American, and I am in the process of reconnecting with my own Native roots. And also I come from a Welsh lineage and Russian, Ashkenazi Jewish. And yeah, I believe so strongly in the power of understanding where we come from. And, you know, where we come from is our belonging and our innate belonging as well to this earth. And so much of what I continue to want to share with the world is how to be in reciprocal relationship with the web of life, with all of life, with our bodies, with our hearts, with our minds, with Creator, and with this earth. And so through my music, I continuously ask, how can I be a vessel? How can I be of use to this world, to make use of this meat body that I'm here with, to be of service in all the ways that I do that. And I think I'm the youngest here, and it feels like such an honor to be with all of you. And I'm touched by all of the wisdom, the depth, and just awareness here of all that we are coming into, and the breakthroughs and the breakdowns of the world right now. And that being here to continue to uplift all native and ancient ancestral traditions in any way possible to those who carry this wisdom of the deepest reciprocal relationship with the earth possible, to know how we can live our lives as an offering. And this is something that I, am continuously learning and practicing on my own, and helping others to learn to how do we live our lives as a thank you every day, in every way and shape and form. And so I am going to be sharing with you a song about water, and it's actually a song to water. So the way that I've learned to pray with water is to talk to it. And so I invite you all to have your water present with you during this song. And it's also, I'm a hip hop and soul artist, so it's also really fun and groovy. So I hope that you enjoy getting a little dancey and funky as well, because we all love that. We got to have fun and celebrate and pray at the same time. So yes, here we go. Okay, technical difficulty. Here we go. All right. Hey, you that grows, you that flows, how you are in me, how you are in all living things. Teach me how to nourish, how you let life flourish, how you're deep and how you're vast, how you move so slow and fast, how you find your way into the smallest, darkest place. Teach me how to pray, how to move like you with grace. Water is life. Whoa, water is life. Water is life. Whoa, water is life. Yo, I watch you water in the way that you move. So pure, so clean. It's you, it's so true. Ooh, I come to you every day on my knees, praying to you, asking you to show me how to be a life giver, flow like your river. It's you who I owe my life to. Nothing in this world compares to your divinity, highest order of love, holy source of everything. I pray about the people who are thirsty, enrage about the people who are greedy. I pray about the people who are thirsty, enrage about the people who are greedy. Yo, water is life. Whoa, water is life. Water is life. Whoa, water is life. You who is me, have mercy, mercy, for the ways I've mistreated you, for the ways I have depleted you, for forgetting you're holy, you bring me to be lowly. Teach me how to wait till the tide follows its fate, how you never leave, only change your state. Holding you the memory of all the energy that came before, and still be pure and wash away what does not remain. Water is life. Whoa, water is life. Water is life. Whoa, water is Thank you.
thank you very much, Sister Stone. And luckily, she's going to come back and do another number for us. But I also want to just remind everybody that you can learn more about Sister Stone by going to Sister Stone on Facebook, also on YouTube, Sister Stone Music, and I think you have a record out called Reciprocal Relations. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I released my first ever EP in May 2020, right during the quarantine time, and it's an EP called Reciprocal Relations, and it's, like I said, all about how we can be in deeper relationship with our bodies, with each other, with a non-human world and all of life. And so it's a groovy, funky, really, really good music that you can dance to, but still, learn a lot and feel really centered in the prayer and like why we're really here and how we can continue to be of best use, in this life. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. You can check it out on
I want to
Spotify.
get the feeling this is water is life. I see that you're wearing that. It's
Yeah.
there we go. Thank you so much, Sister Stone, also known as Shana Gladstone. We'll see you a little bit later in the show. Thank you. All right, I want to bring Adam back on. And as those of you who have been watching Saturday Night Alive know, we every week help to raise money. That's how this show began. It began as a fundraising event for a friend of ours who had Lyme's disease. And since Deborah and I started the show on April 4th, we've raised over $50,000 that have gone to nonprofit organizations and that have also gone to people in need. Recently, we've supported a lot of fire victims. We're doing something different now, and that is we're going to ask people to support directly, to give their money directly to our organization or our individuals. And tonight, we are honoring and celebrating the wonderful work that ICSA and his people do. It's the International Center for Spiritual and Ancestral Wisdom. And Adam is who's brought these elders together. He's helping to get their work out there. So please, we're going to ask all of you to go to icsaw.com/contribute. That's ICSAW, ICSAW.com/contribute. And please be generous as you share. And I'm going to also pull up their website so we can learn a little bit more. And Adam, tell us, it's a beautiful website, by the way. Tell us about the work that you're doing.
Well, it's came through birth, right? Again, I want to honor my mother. I want to honor my father. I want to honor the grandmothers, and I want to honor the grandfathers. And I want to honor our most holy, our children and the youth today. My work with the International Center of Spiritual and Ancestral Wisdom is very vast through events and ceremonies and gatherings. But the most intimate work that I'm doing to date is in the restoration of the systems and the governing bodies of the spirituals and the material plane, unifying the spiritual and material worlds. And how may that be? How can that take place? Well, there is people of origin, indigenous peoples from all walks of life, or indigenous peoples that I've come across in my journey throughout my travels as a young man, that have held on to their ancient knowledge and have never lost that knowledge. So through the International Center of Spiritual and Ancestral Wisdom, we have created this intercultural exchange amongst many nations and peoples all throughout the Americas and around the world. That foundation is being and has been and continual to be, as like she said, Uncle said, we are at this pivotal point in the next generation coming out of, the winter time, is we're literally taking the pillar stones of the ancestral homes, bringing them back bringing them back to these ancient homes, these ancient houses. We've begun that work in South America and in Colombia. And so that happens through the healing of the ancestral memory, through the appropriated ways, through our listening to our grandmothers, to the women, to the thought of the mother. Adam has his thought, we all have our thoughts, but listening to the thought of the mother to help build these pillar stones and get the guidance from that original instructions. We are literally doing that. The house of the sun, the house of the moon, the house of the jaguar, the house of the birds, resurrecting, rebuilding, reforming these ancestral homes, these universities. And so to date, that's one of our basic principles. And that will travel through South, through Central, and come to North America. And this work not only takes place through the indigenous peoples from around the world or throughout the Americas and the unification of the Quetzal, Condor, and Eagle, but it takes place with all of us coming back to the house of thought, the internal house and the house that is constructed by our authorities, by our elders and wisdom keepers, and many of them are here this evening. And so literally I've spent my life on the ground, in the dirt, in the rivers, in the jungles, around the mountains, traveling with the guidance side by side, literally sometimes carrying the elders on my back or them carrying me on their back to come to these places of understanding of the life's mission, what we were to do in this time in preparation for the time we are at now. So our efforts is doing that and sharing that. And so it has happened. The restoration of these ancestral sites are completed, and we're building on. That would reside outside of Santa Marta in Colombia. The house of the sun, the house of the moon, the 4 central fires have been built. And now they're going onward to now share that process through the laws of origin, the systems, in collaboration with the internal governing bodies and the systems, internal systems and external, where we have government, the appropriated government, and the authorities united. So as we see here in the days at hand, we see the uprise of governments and systems. Now the true authorities and governing bodies are to work together with the spiritual guides and elders from around the world. And they have been meeting, and now's the time where they've come out and will be coming out. And that's one of the duties, is to help safeguard and hold that container through the International Center of Spiritual and Ancestral Wisdom, along with many of the elders and guides, to help hold that container so that we can do that, so we can help rebuild the foundation and get the guidance of our grandmothers. At this point, we change his story into her story. So we birth her story and we begin to listen and grow.
Thank you so much, Adam. And everybody, let's please be very, very generous in supporting ICSAW. That's icsaw.com/contribute. Those of you watching on Facebook, I know that Deborah's put the link out there. And of course, it's also, the link is in the Zoom room. And thank you, Adam, for the wonderful work you're doing. It's very inspiring. And again, you and all the people that are in this show are just really living lives in a very sacred way. It's very, very inspiring. And I think now you're going to introduce another elder to us. You're going to introduce us to Patricio.
Yes, Patricio Dominguez is one of my great teachers, one of my great elders. You know, he just was here visiting. We spent many, many years working together. We first met in 1999 when I was on one of my pilgrimages traveling through the Americas, and ended up at a very holy gathering of indigenous elders from around the Americas, unifying, called forth by a great Mayan priest from Central America. And I met Patricio there, and that began our work together and continued as allies to this date. And we will still be working together on our projects and efforts. And and all that he's done. He's one of the greatest men, not only here in the physical planes, but in the spiritual planes, to share the navigation pieces, how we can become better human beings and spiritual beings in that unification process that expanded way beyond of our understanding, not just the Americas, but throughout the world. So I just really am honored, and I would like to have you share, Patricio, as the great man that you are, and father and spiritual guide to so many of people, and the efforts that you've lived and contributed to this world. I want to thank you and welcome you.
Good evening, everyone. There's so much I could share with you, but time will not allow, so I'm going to cut to the chase. First, I have to introduce myself. I belong to the Piro-Manso-Tiwa tribe. It is the southernmost Pueblo tribe in North America, as we are at the edge of the United States along the Rio Grande River. The Rio Grande River is our homeland forever. We have lived up and down the Rio Grande River from Colorado all the way to Mexico. And the only thing I think we've changed is which side of the river we've lived on. My tribe is, in fact, on the same side of the river as I live now. I moved to Albuquerque with my family many years ago. I think it was 1963 or somewhere at that time. Okay, enough for the introduction, but let's get to the real serious business of talking about what we're doing. Many years ago, I met a Mayan high priest named Alejandro Cirilo Perez. And as you know, the Maya are called the timekeepers. And they are called that because that is their job. They are supposed to keep track of time. The Maya developed 13 calendars to track time. They took their job quite seriously. Every tribe in the beginning was assigned some kind of assignment. The Hopi were assigned to be the wisdom keepers. Other tribes were assigned to be the keepers of hunting knowledge. Others were assigned many things. But at the time of the end of the age, all of the tribes were supposed to come together and put their knowledge together to do a prayer to close the old age and open up a new age. And the quality of the new age was going to be dependent on the quality of the prayers that were done at that gathering to close the age and open the age. So 300 elders were called from throughout the Americas to do this work. And we did as good a job as we possibly could, considering all the obstacles that were in the way. Back in the day when we had to do this thousands of years ago, before to open and close another age, we didn't have the borders and we didn't have the governments getting in our way. So it was really quite the challenge to bring all the elders together to say these prayers. But there's a key part of this that I need to bring to your attention. One of the key components that we tried to keep in our mind as we were bringing the people together was no people would be left behind. And that meant no tribe would be left behind. So we tried really hard to contact every tribe we could and make arrangements for their presence at the prayers of the opening and closing of the age. I wish I could say we succeeded in doing that, but we didn't. But we did something very special, and we did what we could. But there is something that I need to bring to the attention right now that probably did not occur to us at that time. The work that we did at that time was done under the name of the Confederation of Indigenous Elders and Priests of America. Now here is something that did not occur to me until years after we had done that gathering. No tribe, no people should be left behind. one day I was looking at the 4-direction color wheel, and I noticed that there was 4 colors. There was red, there was black, there was white. What? Oh, yellow, of course. But there was white. We did not, or the prophecy at that time, we did not consider including the white tribe. Actually, there was a people that got left behind. Yes, there was white people at that prayer ceremony, but they were only acting as helpers or financial assistance, or they had smaller tasks. I was one of the coordinators of that gathering. And as a Native person, it occurred to me that, I was supposed to gather all the tribes that I knew about, which meant all the tribes of North America, being a North American Native. There was a person who was in charge of gathering all the tribes of Central America. There was a person who was in charge of gathering all the tribes of South America. But after that was done, and I felt that everything that was needed to be done was done, something very interesting happened. Adam Yellowbird contacted me and said, I have been asked by the elders to do a gathering called the Eagle Condor Quetzal, or the Eagle Quetzal Condor gatherings. And I said, oh my God, I thought we were done with that. I mean, we did, we brought elders from all across the Americas. But he says, no, the elders want to keep this going. And I said, well, I'm out. It was getting all of the elders from North America together for that conference was a once in a lifetime project, and I am done. But I tell you what, I will help you. I will help you do what you need to do. But there is something that's really, really fascinating about this. The original directors of that project were all Native Americans. The director of this project now is not a Native American. He belongs to the white people. And that's good, because now you're included. So it went from the Native people directing the gathering to a white person directing the gathering. And Adam is doing an incredible job. He's being more inclusive than we ever were. And it's really, really important that this work get done. So I really, really am grateful that I was able to be asked to hand the torch over, the torch of directorship of this very, very important work to someone as incredible as Adam, because he is as deep a human being as anyone I have ever met. So I believe this project is in very, very, very good hands. However, I had a lot of helpers when I did those gatherings. In fact, I had a staff of 25 people. And we raised $750,000 to do it. But those were the days when you had to bring elders physically together. We don't have to do that anymore. Thank goodness Adam doesn't have to do that. But he still needs help. He still needs a lot of help. His task is no less. In fact, maybe it's greater. Because since we have opened it up beyond the Americas now, he's trying to coordinate the entire planet, all the wisdom keepers and all the elders of the entire planet. So this is an incredible task. As hard as it was for me to gather elders from the 500 tribes in North America, his task is great, because There is no coordinator for South America anymore. There is no coordinator for Central America anymore. Adam is all there is. Him and Ixá are what is carrying us into the new age. So thank you, Adam, for volunteering to do this. I guess you knew you were going to be doing this when you were born, because there is no way that anyone could have knowingly volunteered for something like this, and once they were already incarnated, because it's just an incredible task. Understanding, since I have done something like this in my lifetime, I really understand. Thank you. And that's the piece I wanted to bring to the table. Now all the colors of the circle are represented. There is the red, there is the yellow, there is the black, and there is the white. And now we can move forward as the gathering of, and I guess now it's the eagle, condor, quetzal, and whatever other great birds there are in the rest of the world. But we have to come together under the direction of somebody, and Adam is doing this work. So thank you, Adam, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on this subject. I will stop now, because if I keep talking, then I'll open up into other realms, and time does not allow. Every one of us has a piece of this puzzle that we have to bring together. In fact, that was the concept. When we said the Confederation of Indigenous Elders got together to open and close the age, every tribe was supposed to bring their piece of the puzzle together. They have their prayer, and they were supposed to add their prayer to the ceremony. And now we're doing exactly that. Adam is trying to get us to bring all of those pieces together. Thank you again. I've spoken.
Thank you very much, Patricio. We really appreciate having you with us. And again, Patricio is a spiritual guide. He's involved in many important things. You can learn more about him also by going to onepeopletribalnation.org. onepeopletribalnation.org. And thank you very much for blessing us with your presence. We're very grateful. Thank you. All right. It's now my pleasure to introduce Jay Mayer. And Jay is, he's who makes this all happen. Jay is who has sponsored this show. He is a very special soul in my life, and a very special soul. He's the creator of Light Touch, which has brought a lot of really good things to our world. And those of you who came into the Zoom room heard Jay speak at length earlier. But Jay, I'd love for you to just share for a couple of minutes why this topic is so important to you.
First, it's great to be here. It's wonderful to be part of something. And the Global Peace Tribe is something. It's bringing people together. It's bringing this great artists that we know. Now they're out there in the world in all new ways. All of us are. And it's a peace tribe. You know, we're standing for what's important and what's meaningful, and peace is what's meaningful to all of us. So I feel really honored to be a part of this, and I want to welcome everyone to the show. And it's just great, you know, to be able to be a facilitator of something that's this important. The native wisdom, our ancestors, you know, the earth, the healing, these times that we're living in. It's just so important to get it right now. And we don't have all the answers. If we had the answers, you know, the world would be very different right now. So we have to seek, you know, the wisdom seekers, and they will help us and they will show us the way. I see the future. The future is teepees in Washington, D.C. That's just something that I see. I just see it. It's a prophecy. Maybe you'll look back someday when we're having real peace on this earth, and you'll see that we're starting to make it right with the Native Americans, and they should have a seat at the table. This is their land, and we're here, and we all need to work together to make the world a sustainable future for everyone, for us to enjoy. There's opulence here. We should have everything. Everything that everyone needs, there's enough when we share and when we care.
Well, Jay, you've done such a wonderful job of demonstrating collaboration, because that is it. I mean, what we just saw Adam and Patricio share, people of all colors coming together to co-create. And I'm going to share just a little co-creation. Jay took the music from Joanne Shenandoah, and we're going to hear from her in just a minute. And along with Jan Kaplan, who's one of our associate producers, Jay, our sponsor, they created a very special short little video that I'm going to share with you right now. Is an example of collaboration between different people, different cultures. So enjoy. So thank you, Jay, so much. We're going to hear a little bit more from Jay later on, and he's going to close out our show tonight with something very special. And I want to bring on board Jan Kaplan, who is an important part of Saturday Night Alive. She's part of our ever-growing team, our ever-growing staff of people making this remarkable show happen every week. And Jan is who actually discovered Joanne Shenandoah. So I'm going to give Jan, and she also helped create the video you just saw. So Jan, tell us a little bit about Joanne as a way of introducing her.
Well, I can't say that I discovered Joanne Shenandoah because she's quite a renowned Native American musician. And in fact, I could go on and on. Her 45 plus musical awards, Grammys, an Emmy nomination. And but one of the things that really struck me as a woman and knowing about the importance of Iroquois women is that Joanne is an Oneida Iroquois ancestor from the original Shenandoah that George Washington encountered, and is the importance of women in the Iroquois nation. And Joanne, with her beauty and her grace and her amazing voice, the voice of an angel, is able to really take us to the next level with her culture. And the fact that she has performed for Nelson Mandela and the Dalai Lama and luminaries all over the world, she's truly a bridge and a wisdom keeper in our time that I'm so honored to be friends with. I love her dearly, and we're like girlfriends, and we have an amazing sisterhood girlfriend thing. And I also honor and respect her tradition. And so I welcome her to our show, and really hope that you'll, find out more about her if you don't know about her. If you already know about her, I'm sure you'll be thrilled that she's here tonight. But you can find her music on Apple Music. You can go to her joanneshenandoah.com website to learn more about her. But anyways, so thank you, Joanne, for being here. And I also wanted to share that Joanne is a founding member of the Hiawatha Institute, which is well, I'll let her tell you a little bit more about it. It's for Indigenous wisdom. It's in upstate New York, and it's a nonprofit. So anyway, thank you so much
Thank you
for being here.
Thank you so much. And I didn't mean to suggest that you were introduced to the world by Jan, but just to our team here at Saturday Night Alive. And this is the second time we've been blessed to have you with us. So welcome, Joanne.
Thank you so much. I'm really tickled to be here too. It's a blessing and an honor as well. And Janice, thank you for such a nice introduction. And Scott for having me back again. And I'm on the East Coast, so I've been up since 5 a.m. Had a 2-hour show earlier this evening. And, you know, I have to say, I come from a long line of amazing leaders. I'm the 7th generation from Chief Shenandoah, who was given the Peace Medal by George Washington for saving his army during the Revolutionary War. And I happen to live on the very land where he died at the age of 110. He founded the Hamilton College in Clinton, New York, known as the Oneida Academy initially. Anyhow, I'm very blessed to have been given the gift of music from a young age. I am Oneida, Onondaga, people of the Standing Stone. My native name is Digaliwakwa, which means she sings or lifts the spirit. So that's what music does. If it's brought to you in a special way, like I've just heard a little while ago, which is beautiful, from Sister Stone. That was really wonderful. I loved your song. And I just want to say also that I'm on a new project with Kevin Locke, who you hear or see dance later today. I was so honored to sing and dance with his mother, with African women in Africa and South Africa when I was asked to perform there. So I performed all over the world, from South Korea to Australia. And it's just been such an amazing gift to have been able to share with people, Indigenous people everywhere. You know, it's not about race, religion, age. It's about us all coming together as one, living in harmony and balance with each other in the natural world. In the Iroquois way, we understand that gratitude is everything. And we must learn forgiveness in order to move forward, to change that structure of what we've been told. Well, your grandfather did it this way. Well, I had to walk to school this way. I had to dress this way. And this is what happened to my ancestors. You know, there comes a point where we have to learn to live with one another. And we have to learn to love one another and care for each other. Otherwise, how will our world survive? There are so many blessings in life. I was talking about seeds yesterday with the 13 Indigenous grandmothers, and seeds are part of one of our 13 ceremonies. And we place them in our horn rattles, and we give thanks for those seeds. And they say, all elements of the earth are going to listen right now. All the birds, all the medicines, all the plants, all the four-leggeds, all of our human being people around the world will listen to us right now as we give thanks and gratitude for our responsibility on this earth. And that means every talent that we have and how we nurture our children to have that same creator-given gift is very important to us. And it's not about us specifically, but how can we help to inspire each other? It's not about one individual's journey or how we make a change, but we can affect each other's lives in such an amazing and magical way. So that's pretty much how I try to live my life. I'm full of gratitude every morning. We give thanks every day for all the seeds, the plants, the medicines. When we take from the earth, they say there are 4 simple rules. Take only what you need. Make sure you use everything that you take, but be thankful. Give gratitude for everything Mother Earth gives to us. And finally, leave the earth in a better place than when you found it. So I've been blessed to have been given this wisdom by my elders and my ancestors. And so when I ask for music, I ask for my ancestors to give me that blessing so that I can carry on the music that is necessary in order to bring healing, the vibration of healing to others. So I get thousands of emails on a constant basis. And I tell you, this morning alone, I had 808 spams and 1 email alone 20,000 emails that I haven't answered yet. So I'm working at it. I'm just working with a young woman now who's going to try to help me with this. But you know, there are so many blessings to be grateful for. The sun, the moon, and the stars, they have their responsibility. They come up every day. They do what they're supposed to do. The trees continue to try to grow. The birds continue to sing. You know, this is what we need to concentrate on. Unless we live in harmony with our mother, the earth, we're not going to live in harmony with each other. So we have to have that respect and gratitude for the water, for the earth, our Mother Earth. She will continue on. And like I heard the Dalai Lama say back in 1999, he says, you know, everyone's concerned about the millennium. He goes, but the little ants, they'll be there going, la, 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 you know, moving forward. And I thought that was so precious. I was like, oh, that's so beautiful. I just absolutely love that. So like Dr. Emoto, who is Japanese, he was one of my heroes. He said, everything we say, everything we do has a vibration. And I forgot to set my clock to see how long I'm going on here. But sorry. Anyway, I just want to say that everything we say has a vibration. And I went to work. I do healing workshops on music is medicine, lifting the spirit. And I worked for the Department of Justice for a whole year, Eric Holder under Obama's administration, to help children exposed to violence across the country. And I understand more than anyone, trust me, about life and experience and how it affects us and how our words stick with us. So unless we understand and learn forgiveness and learn how to bring that healing back, then we won't have peace within us. So as Iroquois people, we believe in the wampum. The wampum is the quahog shell. You see the flag behind me. This is the Hiawatha flag, and I'm trying to move out of the way, but it's the purple and white. So the purple represents bruising or pain, and the white represents purity or truth. So all of our treaty belts are made out of wampum, and the wampum is also an amazing way of showing how you can learn how to forgive, because the purple represents bruising, right? The white represents the purity of our truth and our words and what we say. So what I'm wearing tonight is the wampum, and everything I say is true. So our words are being heard from the Creator. So we must say the truth, which is beautiful. So when we've been hurt and we learn how to forgive, like Hiawatha did, he went singing a song to the evil chief who had murdered all of his children. And Hiawatha was so grieved, but he went singing a song. And, you know, this is why we created the Hiawatha Institute for Indigenous Knowledge, because we know that people need to hear about this great message of peace, because it's been prophesied that everyone will hear about it. How we buried our weapons of war underneath this tree. 4 white roots will go to the 4 directions of the earth. And on top stands an eagle who's our protector on the great white pine tree. So when the eagle calls out or cries out, we're to join hands together as one. And we can all find shelter under this tree, irrespective of our race, religion, or age, or culture. So I want to sing you this song off my recording called Peacemaker's Journey. Nobody goes and say Hiawatha Neji o nahi ho Goyo Aguha Nilong Suno Nigola Names Kana Aundu Laungu La Onigu Onigu I Martha Nojio na Pebo Sequoia Aguha Nilong Suno Nigola Names Kana Ahundu Laonigu 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 Laonigu.
Thank you so much, Joanne.
That's just a shortened version because I don't know how much time I have left.
Well, we are over, but we appreciate everything you've shared. And
I have like
I'm
1
bringing
minute.
up your postcard here where people can get more information about you. And Joanne has been doing such extraordinary work for so long as an artist, lecturer, singer, clearly a peace and earth advocate, and bringing forward the wisdom of the Iroquois Confederacy. You can find out more about her just by her name, Joanne, that's Joanne, Shenandoah.com. JoanneShenandoah.com. And there's a lot of wonderful things waiting for you at that website. Thank you so much, Joanne.
Thank you. A blessing to be with you all tonight. And next time, maybe I could share some more music. So,
Absolutely. We'd love to have more of your music next time. And there will be
beautiful. Because I have a lot to share. 24 albums. So, full symphony as well. But maybe we'll do that live at some point.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, so I hope people also check out the Hiawatha Institute because that's very important to us to share our wisdom and our knowledge. Excuse me. Had a long day. I was up at 5 a.m. Yeah, but what a beautiful production, and thank you for the video. I think that was so precious. And Janice, I love you, and Scott, love you too. Have a good evening.
And a big thank you to Jay, who also co-created that video and who not only has sponsored this show, but has committed to sponsoring more editions of the Indigenous Elders' Wisdom in the new season, starting in January. So thank you very much, Jay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, now it's time for our, what we call the mid-show announcements. And the mid-show announcements, we're actually, to be honest, we're way past mid-show. And we are running a little bit late, but we're appreciating all the wisdom we've heard from people. And there is a lot that goes into putting this show together. And so a reminder that for those of you watching, and I see thousands are watching on Facebook right now, you can still come into our Zoom room. And it's wonderful to come into the Zoom room. We can chat with you more easily. And by doing that, you register and we get your email address, and then we can give you all sorts of wonderful things. We can provide you with information on upcoming shows. You'll get the replay, not just of this show, but the replay of previous shows. So how do you do it? It's easy. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, and register. It doesn't take long at all to register, so please join us. And I do want to thank those of you that have already provided financial support to our program tonight. And usually I'm able to read the donors, but because it's not our GoFundMe, I can't do that tonight. And I kind of am missing that because it's kind of fun to read the names of the people who have donated. So you know who you are. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you haven't donated yet, please, even $5 or 50 or 500 or 5,000, but even 5 is fantastic. ICSAW.com, contribute is how we do it. And thank you so much. I also want to acknowledge all of our broadcast partners, and our broadcast partners keep growing. We're going to have 2 new broadcast partners next week joining us. And so it's pretty cool. So I want to welcome all of you who are watching on Unify, which ends up being thousands of people. We want to thank our friends at the Sign Network. John and Summer Raymer, you are such sweethearts. And I've noticed that you've shared us out again tonight to about 60 to 75 of your networks, of your pages that you share out on. So thank you. Welcome to our friends watching on Awake TV. Of course, Light Touch, that's light-touch.me, is our sponsor of tonight's show. And they've sponsored many shows. They sponsor 1 or 2 shows a month for us, which really helps us to keep this going. I want to welcome our friends watching on the YouTube channel from our friend Alan Steinfeld, New Realities. Of course, Love Coach Academy is my organization. And I know a lot of you are watching on Love Coach Academy right now. And again, a big hello to our friends at Earth Dance Global, Humanities Team, Portal to Ascension, Disclosure Fest, Global Days of Unity, and Earthwalk. All partners that we love collaborating with and really appreciate collaborating with. So thank you. And now to share a little bit more of some of the fun things that we've got coming up. Here's my producing partner, Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And I also want to thank all the people that are donating and all the people that donated when you register and donate directly to Saturday Night Alive, because that really helps us bring you a show, a high quality show every week. And a lot of you email us with your love and your good wishes and your appreciation. And we have an endorsement form we'd love for you to fill out and tell us what you love about the show so that we can spread your good vibes out as we share with others. So I'm posting that in the chat room and on the Facebook post. So if you'd like to fill that out, we would just love that for you to tell us what you love about our show. And because you love our show and because of your donations, we are going to continue to produce these amazing shows for you. And next week, we are going to have, on November 21st, it's going to be Reimagine and Take Action, shifting a world fed by fear to a world led by love. It's produced in collaboration with Teresa Collins of Global Coherence Pulse. And we've got some really magical beings on this show. Jess Magic, Pete Longworth, Paulette Pipe, Kristen Hoffman, Luke Cohen, Amalia Grace, Theo Grace, Peter Opperman, Chireya Dharma, and Alexi Vase. Teresa is responsible for the Global Coherence Pulse collaboration with HeartMath that happens every month. And she has 5,000 people from around the world that come together in a pulse where they resonate their heart and their spirit connection together. And it's extremely healing for everyone on there and for the planet. So this is what we're going to experience next week. And then on November 28th, we're going to celebrate community, because that's what Thanksgiving is celebrating family and celebrating community. And a lot of us aren't going to be able to go and be with family in the way we normally are. So we are going to take advantage of that this weekend. It's the power of community building trust and coherence. It's being co-created with Brad Nye, who runs the Tribalize conference. We're going to have Stephen Brooks, who's the producer of Envision Festival in Costa Rica, Michael Brian Baker, Bill Kalf, Connie, and Andrew. We're going to be a part of it, Baxter, and many, many other beautiful people. And we're really going to come together in heart and connection. And December 5th, it is Hidden Mysteries, Ancient Advanced Spiritual Civilizations, and How They Inform Us Now. This is going to be a really incredible show. William Henry, many other people that have studied ancient civilizations. This is being produced by our associate producer, Jerea Dharma. It's going to be extremely fascinating. Tricia McCannon, many, many others. And then December 12th, we have another great show, very important for the times, Relationship Mastery. This is going to also be sponsored by Jay Mayer. December 19th, Winter Solstice Activation. We are going to use the power of the portal and all of our energies from around the world to create a really important gathering and activation for Winter Solstice. And then on the 26th, we will have special moments of Saturday Night Alive. We're going to bring back special clips of the whole year. We started in April, so we have almost a whole year or 3/4 of a year to share with you. And we're going to have some special musical guests on and special celebrities. So that's going to be really great. And we are going to be producing a whole other winter season. So from January to March, we've got some great ideas, some great keynote speakers, musicians, themes, topics. And so we appreciate your support around that. Again, your donations are really helpful for us to be able to continue this on and keep doing this at this very important, unprecedented time in the planet, to keep our connection, our wisdom, our high vibe going during these times. So we love you and appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Deborah. And thank you, everybody, for watching. This show obviously means a lot to both Deborah and I, and it is amazing the feedback we get from all of you. So as you see, we're going full steam ahead with all of your support. Thank you very, very much. All right, we love music. We love Sister Stone. I want to encourage all of our panelists that are still with us to move to the music. And remember, if you're moving to the music, I just want to put the spotlight on you. So Sister Stone, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you again. For all of those who weren't here for my previous share and song, I just want to say hello. My name is Sister Stone, or Shana Gladstone, and I come from inhabited Anishinaabe lands in Oak Park, Michigan. And I'm actually currently in Tulum, Mexico, on Mayan Indigenous lands here, with the ocean and the jungles and the ruins here and the cenotes and the underworld. And so I'm just here honoring and thanking all of the life here that has welcomed me and allowed me to be here on this land, and all of my ancestors on my mother's side and my father's side for allowing me to be here and, you know, to create, live, breathe, walk, think, sing, be. And so with that, I know we're running a little behind, and I just invite you in this next song that I'm going to share to really hear the lyrics, because so much of what I share about in my work in the world is communicated in the words that I write and I put into this music. Is so much of why I create, is the messages and the medicine there. And I also just want to say that something that's really important to me as well is creating inclusive spaces for LGBTQ2A and BIPOC communities. And so much of the work that I do is opening up spaces that we can create for all people to learn how we can not only get into reciprocal relationship with the earth, but also like really access and empower ourselves with the gifts that we were born with, that we're here to give as an offering to the world, and how we can do that in our best and most highest service and authenticity. And so that's what I do as well, and with my programs and my one-on-one mentorship work. So feel free to check all that out on my website, and I hope you enjoy this next song. It's called Relations. Get right behind that. I get right behind that. I get right behind that. I get right behind that. Follow it, see where it goes. Stay true, stay on the road. Make your offering reciprocal feeling. Let it sing, let your heart ring. Be in right relation, good vibration. Life is sweet, all that water brings. So much to be thankful for. Focus on the prayer. Water, wind, fire, air. Holy Creator, Mother Earth. Father Sky, walk with you side by side. Holy Creator, Mother Earth. Father Sky, walk with you side by side. Holy Creator, Mother Earth. Father Sky, walk with you side by side. Holy Creator, Mother Earth. Father Sky, walk with you side by side. Yo, there's a higher power and they hear sincerity. Speak your prayers, cry your tears, specificity. This road of life is rugged, it will push you to the test. It will bring you out, love you down to your essence. Get down on your knees, close to Mama Earth. Think about your loved ones, put your family first. It's all about relations and how we tend to them. Reciprocal relations, human and non-human kin. Holy Creator, Mother Earth. Father Sky, walk with you side by side. Holy Creator, Mother Earth. Father Sky, walk with you side by side. Holy Creator, Mother Earth. Father Sky, walk with you side by side. Holy Creator, Mother Earth. Father Sky, walk with you side by side. Yo, always ask permission, only take what you need. It's time to flip the script of this capitalist greed. Pay her close attention, spread around the seeds. Voices to the marginalized, empowerment to lead. Feed the holy with your tears, beautiful words and poetry. Listen and respect of all living beings. I came here to remind you, you are of the earth. The more we reconnect, the more we find our worth. Holy Creator, Mother Earth. Father Sky, walk with you side by side. Holy Creator, Mother Earth. Father Sky, walk with you side by side. Holy Creator, Mother Earth. Father Sky, walk with you side by side. Holy Creator, Mother Earth. Father Sky, walk with you side by side. Holy Creator, Mother Earth. Father Sky, walk with you side by side. Holy Creator, Mother Earth. Mother Earth, I walk with you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Loved all your dancing and yeah, just love the groove. And yeah, check me out at sister-stone.com and just come, connect with me and, love to meet new people and all people who are here to be of service and really give our hearts and minds to this earth and to what we can create together. Thank you. Oh, Scott, you're muted.
I was muted. I was like singing your praises and telling everybody and about to go to your website. So here it is. Let's all go to sisterstone.com and there's a lot going on there. So definitely. And thank you for coming. A lot of us are older and it's really inspiring to see your generation coming forward the way that you are. So thank you for that. That's very, very important. Thank you. Also, just want to remind everybody one more time that tomorrow, for those of you who came in a little bit later, we've got people actually still coming into the show right now. Want to remind you that tomorrow we're going to listen to three of our elders, Adam Yellowbird, and then Calixto and Laura, who are both primarily Spanish speaking. Calixto is coming to us all the way from Colombia, and Laura is coming to us from Mexico. And so it's going to be really important to have them on our show. It's my Sacred Sunday show that I do every Sunday morning. This is a special edition, kind of following up on wisdom from the Indigenous elders. So again, please join us tomorrow morning, Sunday, November 15th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, where we're going to really be able to go in and drop deep with with three very wise elders, and Lupita, who will be doing the translation for us. So we're pretty grateful for that. Thank you. And now I'm going to turn it over to my partner, Deborah, to introduce us to the Global Peace Tribe Recommends program.
Thank you, Scott. And one thing we've been doing each week is bringing you some of the incredible virtual festivals and conferences that are happening lately. As you know, we can't meet live, and a lot of the festivals and conferences that have been happening annually are now going virtual. So we want to make sure you know about them so you can join them. And this is one of the benefits of what's happening now. If we can find the lemonade and all that's going on, is that all the wisdom and the medicine that has been happening at the festivals and live events can now go out over the world to everyone virtually as everyone tunes in. So one event that's happening next week that I want to share with you is Marianne Williamson's Women's Wisdom in Time of Crisis. Marianne is one of our favorite presenters. She was on last week right during our election recovery, had a lot of important wisdom to share about what's next and how we come together and unify in compassion towards solutions. And one of her primary solutions is to allow the women to speak, allow the women to lead, and allow the women and men to come together in partnership. So this conference is going to be about that. There is going to be some incredible women leaders that are good friends of hers and allies: Claire Zammit, Marcy Schmeinoff, Ariel Ford, Reverend Deborah Johnson, and many others, including Lynn Twist, are going to be at this conference. And Marianne will share a lot of her wisdom as well. So I'm going to post the links in the chat room. It's Friday, November 20th and Saturday, November 21st. And of course, there will be replays, which is the magic of the virtual conferences, that you can sign up. But if you can't see it then, you can watch it on your own time later. So please do register for this event. This is also a way to support Marianne. She is such a leader and a voice for us, and so many things she does in running for Congress and running for president last year. She is really out there consistently. So I'd love for us all to support and attend her virtual conference next weekend, Friday and Saturday. And I will post that in the chat room. And Scott, I think you have one more other opportunity we'd like to share with everyone, the health campaign.
Just a reminder that you can register by going to marianne.com, and that's where you'll be able to find it. So that's one place. And then also Deborah is putting the links up for us. So thank you. We are really appreciating all the different organizations, events, things that are taking place. We are the Global Peace Tribe. And those of you who are watching, you are an important part of this. So I want to say, everybody who hears my voice right now, everybody watching, even if you're watching the replay, you are all an essential and important part of this movement, this rainbow movement of us coming together, people of all ages, races, to create peace in our world. And one of the things that Deborah and I recently learned about that we really want to support is a very important health campaign. And hopefully what you're seeing, you're seeing it right now. It's a petition put together by our friend Jeff Ringgold. And it's an opportunity that if you can just sign it, it just takes like 45 seconds. You can help save lives and livelihoods. I mean, think about it. What would it be like if something very simple that takes only 45 seconds could really make a big difference? Well, there is something. You know, in the midst of all the debate about COVID and all about masks and what's real and not real, and we don't take a stance one way or the other, there are simple, natural approaches that are proven to strengthen immunity and reduce the risk of serious outcomes from respiratory infections, including COVID-19. At the link that Deborah's putting up, or that you'll see right here in this poster, you'll find a petition to public officials that calls for the inclusion of free and low-cost natural approaches to health that can help in the time of COVID. Now, these aren't cures. They aren't positions on masks or vaccines or electoral politics. They're just common sense approaches that are proven. but are being mostly ignored in public policy and the media. So just 45 seconds of your time right now, you can go help save lives and livelihoods and help move our healthcare system to include preventative health. Please take the time just to sign the petition. You can see the link right there. Deborah's putting it in the Zoom room and in the Facebook. And we really appreciate all the little things that everybody does to really support our Global Peace Tribe. And we love you and we appreciate you. So thank you very, very much for all that. And again, a reminder to be supportive of Adam Yellowbird and his organization, ICSAW, which is the organization that we're sponsoring this week. And they, hopefully, as you're seeing with the elders, we've got together, they have done just a remarkable job. And it's so important, the work that they're doing. So thank you very much, Adam, for your work. Thank you, everybody who is supporting Adam today through your donations. These are all ways that we as Global Peace Tribe are coming together to make things happen. And now we're hoping that Chase Iron Eyes has joined us. He has. Deborah, take it away, and would you please introduce our next speaker?
Thank you, Scott. Well, we are really happy to have this amazing man join us tonight. This is Chase Iron Eyes. He is lead counsel for the Lakota Law Project. He fights for the civil rights of Native Americans, which includes lead counsel for the Dakotas, for the Dakota People Law Projects. And he was at the beginning of the movement of Standing Rock. He was involved on the front lines to fight against the Dakota Access Pipeline. He hosts tribal leadership. He provided legal services, joining the water protectors in their prayerful and peaceful protest. He was born in the Standing Rock Nation, and today he lives at Pine Ridge. Right now he's traveling across the country, but he is joining us tonight, which we are so happy for. So thank you so much, Chase Iron Eyes, for joining us tonight and sharing your wisdom and what you can share about what's happening in the world today and how we can support the Native wisdom and cause. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for organizing these great events. And thanks to everyone who's putting their time and energy into promoting and furthering the cause of the Global Peace Tribe. Right now, I happen to be traveling in another homeland, the Tewa Pueblos, the Tewa people, and all of the southwestern people from Santa Fe Peaks all the way to the San Francisco Peaks inside the Sacred Mountains. I happen to be able to come to you from there today. As you know, I was raised on the Standing Rock Nation and was sort of catapulted to a spokesperson's role, not officially sanctioned by the nation, but just because of how I was aware of interfacing with the non-Indigenous world. I was able to communicate our legal foundation, our spiritual legal foundation for why we were on the ground during Standing Rock, protecting clean water and healthy ecosystems for everybody on the planet, everybody next to the Missouri River, all 20 million people that depend on clean drinking water. We're able to understand how Indigenous nations have prevailed since contact and have kept alive our sense of duty and our ability to uphold our end of the covenant, the sacred covenant that we have with the sacred universe. And so it's through platforms like Global Peace Tribe and paying attention to what's going on around us. It was good to see like Dr. Marion Williamson a part of the show, because right now in this country, we are in a crisis. We are in a spiritual war, and there are politicians who understand this, that those of us who are organizing for the good of the order, for the better of humanity, to carry on the struggle for a liberation and for economic and political equity, that we have to find allies in each other. And a lot of that allyship comes from the progressive movement, those who want social justice and freedom and equality, and who recognize that we are facing fascist authoritarianism, and that right now we have to dig deep within ourselves and show up every day for this struggle to defend our natural rights, our birthrights, our constitutional rights, and as Indigenous nations, our treaty rights. So I've been doing the best that I can in these trying times. We not only have a global pandemic, but we have ice caps melting. We have a human-caused climate catastrophe that is forcing all of us into this teachable space. And in those teachable moments, those vulnerable moments, those character building spaces, we can come together at times like this and direct our energy toward a common cause. So I wanted to just share a few words, let you know that I've been watching along. Thank you to Joanne Shenandoah, to Sister Stone. I see Chief Phil Lane, from the Locke Nation and from the Indigenous people. To everybody in the world, we want to join you in prayer, in voice, and let you know that we can never give up the struggle. So we will carry on. And thank you for listening tonight and for tuning in.
Wow, thank you so much, Chase. And how can people support your current work? What's the best way for them to support you?
Thank you for that. The easiest way is to go to LaKotaLaw.org, or to find us online at Lakota Law or at Chase Iron Eyes. And we're supporting a couple of efforts. We have in the city of Rapid City, which is in the traditional homeland of the Lakota Nation, we have a lot of homeless and houseless brothers and sisters who are Lakota, and we want to support an organization called the Mini Luzaha Creek Patrol. But the easiest way to link up with some of these on the ground occurrences and happenings, like the land back movement and the land back prophecy that is happening right now, that seeks to put Indigenous peoples and those of us who are seeking an awareness and an understanding in positions to create relationships with sacred sites and with the land in our traditional territories. So go to Lakota Law online or LaKotaLaw.org on the internet.
Beautiful. Thank you so very, very much for joining us. And thank you for the beautiful work that you're doing. It's very, very important. And hopefully we'll have you on the show again when you can share with us a little bit more, because I know you have a lot to share.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Well, I know that there's a lot of different organizations that we're sharing, and all these different elders that we're meeting. Each and every one of them, it's so valuable to go deeper into the work that they're doing and what they're providing. When we did our first Indigenous Elders show, which is also sponsored by Jay, he shot a little video with me, actually. And so we're going to share that now as a reminder. There we go. Inevitable, right? Here we go. I really want to thank Jay Mayer and Light Touch for sponsoring this very important show, in which we're bringing you the wisdom of Native Americans and various Indigenous elders. Thank you, Jay, for your belief and understanding of how important this medicine that they have to provide to us is. I also want to acknowledge that Jay has introduced to me something called Light Touch. And Light Touch is a way to awaken the senses of my own body. It's a way to take what really is ancient, but give it a new form. In light touch, I can take these beautiful feathers, which I honor, and I can clear my space. I can clear my energy. And then what I do is I very gently touch myself. And I feel my heart opening, and I drop into great appreciation for the abundance of my life. Thank you, Great Spirit, for all the blessings.
Muted, Scott. You're muted.
You know, what happens is when I'm doing a screen share, I can't mute another person. So of course, once the video started, I noticed that Chase hadn't muted himself. But I hope you all appreciated that just as I said about opening my heart, we heard his car doorbell ring. So I'm just going to pretend that there was like a little magical moment there. You got to just, hey, we're all coming from living rooms, cars. It's every one of these shows, to be honest, is a miracle. It's really pretty amazing. So anyway, thank you. And now I'm going to turn it back over to our co-host, Adam, who's going to tell us a little bit about Kevin Locke. And then we have a really special video to share with you that Kevin co-created with our co-producer, Shariah. Adam, tell us a little bit about Kevin.
Well, my first meeting with Kevin Locke was right outside of Little Eagle, South Dakota on the Standing Rock Reservation. And that was a life-changing at that moment in time, about 11:30 in the evening, was at a purification ceremony. They call it Inipi. And that was a pivotal point in my life where I was going through a lot of transitional turmoil in my own life to bring me to the next level. And I was able to sit in this ceremony on the Renville home foundation there in an ancient area where they had their holy ceremonies. And at that point, I began to realize how big Kevin's heart was and is and still is and will be beyond. And shared that with me through his song and all the teachings and everything that he's learned from the grandmamas, from time and eternity to the time that he would receive that and what he shared in his songs. And they were healing songs, they were upliftment songs, and his dance and prayer. And about that we would do this together, and we would dance together, and we would pray together. So I've kept in touch with him all these years. I was a young man at that time, and we still keep smiling. He still keeps dancing. And I'm just so honored that I could sit in that Inipi, that ceremony, and it has truly changed my life. And I know he's traveled the world greatly, and he's always been in my heart and prayers. And Kevin, I love you so much for that opportunity to be able to be a part of your life. And so please, at this moment,
Kevin,
take that time to be
All right, here's a video.
Kevin, welcome to Saturday Night Alive. You are a hoop dancer and a native elder and wisdom keeper.
Hello, everybody. It's great to see you all here at the Saturday Night Live, and I give you all a heartfelt handshake. To me, the whole idea is to take out the universal themes and use those themes to accentuate our innate oneness, because I always feel that whatever ethnicity or whatever we are, that's just a secondary identity. Our primary identity is world citizens, members of the human being tribe. Whatever you're doing, as long as you can accentuate that, why then that's the only thing that matters.
I find that to be very beautiful. Thank you so much for that sentiment. That is the medicine that is needed at this time.
Yeah.
You've expressed yourself through traditional hoop dance. I believe it's traditional. And maybe you could share a little bit about where hoop dance came from, how it came to you, and what its medicine is.
Well, I recently asked an elder. I think he's in his 80s now. I think he's in his 80s, but like 60 plus years ago, he was a great hoop dancer. I recently asked him, where does this hoop dance come from? He says, well, he says it comes from out in the universe. What he means, of course, comes from the holy worlds beyond, strengthened in that. And so he said, my work is really good in that way. But then he said, even adults, even though most adults have forgotten where they're from, he said, through these ways, through the heavenly ways, we can reach them and we can take them, we can bring them back into that circle.
How does it make you feel when you're doing that sacred work of the hoop dance that has come from the heavenly realms?
Well, a lot of people ask me if I get dizzy when I do that, because when you spin to bring the designs out, the centrifugal force causes the designs to be displayed. And so then I say, no, the only time I really get dizzy and confused is in my everyday life, and I have to try and fit myself into this material world. But the moment you do these ways that are from the holy realms, from the universe, then you can feel connected. So once I start, then that's when all that confusion, all that disorientation disappears, and I can really feel more aligned. And the whole idea is to use this and you bring everybody into this. It's like you're pulling everybody into the hoop of life where everything is connected, everything is related.
That's beautiful. So the dance is a way to create coherence in the community then, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you know, here in North America for thousands of years, they always say there's 4 ways to pray. You can say your prayers, you can verbalize your prayers. That's one way. If you want to propel your prayer further, then you can sing your prayer. If you want to really turbocharge your prayer, then you can dance it. And that's one of the main features in North America, is that one of the highest forms of prayer that is across the board in North America is the different dances. But really, none of that makes any difference unless you live your prayer. You live your prayer. That's the 4th way, but that's the only one that really matters. That's where the rubber hits the road. If you don't live your prayer, then nothing else really matters.
And so, can you explain what living your prayer means? Does it mean doing things in accordance with your prayer? Or does it mean feeling the outcome, like praying rain ahead of time, or both?
Well, you know, all throughout North America, these holy ones, these great teachers, these divine souls have appeared and brought the ways, the holy ways to this earth, the ways that we could walk through this earth, upon this earth. And we come from the heavens, and then we journey upon this world, and we go back to that heavenly journey. So we need to try and put ourselves into alignment all the way through. Just like, you know, for instance, the Lakota people received their teachings from this woman, a holy soul who brought these divine laws to the people. And some say she was the one that gave that name Lakota or Dakota, which means to be civilized, to be human, to be pious, to be faithful. The teachings that she brought were to enable us to actualize this upon this earth. It's the way of balance. It's the way of beauty, you could say, something like that. That's what the whole purpose of it is. And I think it's the same all throughout North America, although these divine teachers differ from ethnicity to ethnicity, but the message that they bring is all the same. The hoop dance is part of that. It's just one of those, because we use symbology of the hoop, the circle, which is a universal archetype for all peoples. It means the same thing. It represents wholeness, completeness, continuity, unity, harmony, balance, beauty, order, everything good, everything holy is symbolized by that design. That hoop is a design for all humanity. And inside of there's no corner, there's no place to hide. Everybody's there, hand in hand, arm in arm, shoulder to shoulder. So then all the designs, they represent, you know, as you display them, represents the springtime. But it's not the physical springtime, but it represents the springtime that autumn or winter shall never overtake. And that's the springtime that occurs in the collective heart of humanity. So then when we create the designs, we create the sequence of designs that extols the progression during the 28-day lunar cycle where all the signs of spring appear. Of course, that's why we use the 28 hoops to represent that progression. We as human beings represent discrete hoops of humanity. And so when we all work together, we bring those powers into the creation. And as we do that, then this is how the world is made complete and whole. And so in a way, it's like it's a prayer for that to be established because it's never been done before. We're like the pioneers who are endeavoring to create this pattern in the world. And then when we do create that, and I make these designs in that hoop dance, there's one where I take all the hoops and make a design that represents the hoop of many hoops, one hoop of many hoops. And it requires each one of them to be included. If anyone's taken out, then the whole design collapses. And that's a metaphor for we as human beings have to be inclusive of everybody. See, life is not vicarious. We can't just sit back and watch everything. We have to get out and participate and be that change or to be that proponent of the forces of integration in this world. And we all have a place, we all have a dynamic job and role to play in creating that in the world today. That's what the dance is all about. It's a prophecy which is coming true today.
Beautiful.
That was beautiful. And I want to just thank Shariah, our associate producer, who did a wonderful job of putting that together. And Adam, as you look at that, what comes up for your partner?
The gift of life, Kevin's essence really gave me such an inspiration in the purification ceremony that I was able to look at different stages of my life and say, yes, I want to be a participant in this world as a young man, and I want to make a difference not only for my family and loved ones, but for the nations, the people, and the world. So it's just, it brings internal tears to my heart, feelings and emotions, and I'm just very grateful, so honored that we could come together and have him a part of this show here.
Yeah, I've gotten tears a couple times today. We're almost done, but we actually have, believe it or not, a few extra minutes. And so I'm going to bring on a couple of our elders. Phil, I just put the spotlight on you as well. Laura, I'm bringing you on. Patricio, I'm bringing you on. And we're going to have Jay in a few moments do a little closing song for us. But I'm going to remove myself. And I do want to open it up that each and every one of you, if you have, a 1 minute, 2 minute final thought that you want to share, please do so.
I wanted to share that my heart is just overflowing with the divine blessings that are showering down upon each and every one of us. I think it's time to open our hearts and minds, because we have entered the day that shall not be followed by night. And Tushka, Adam, I just realized, we're sun dancing the same place. That's Tahanshi Kevin. My cousin Kevin is one started in 1980. I don't know what you were there. It was a little Pete Catches.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you what, that's a good place to dance.
Yes.
Pete liked to do 2 days and 2 nights. What do you call it? 2 blue days and 2 yellow days. We never stopped. 2 days and 2 nights.
Uh-huh.
No. And by the way, sweat at the beginning and the end. That's it. I'll tell you, I love to dance like that. Wow. So great. And to hear everybody, Patricio, so wonderful to hear you. I have some Leon Sagandero and Tata are dear close to me. And I've shared some videos in there and other materials, Shift to the Ages with Tata, telling his life. You were part of that. Toshka Adam, you were one of the ones that helped do that. So nice to hear from Toshka Chase. 3 of us are here related to Standing Rock. My dad born in Wakpala. And I was thinking, well, I don't think you're prejudiced there, Toshka. Your son danced there, and you got Kevin, my Tanshi Kevin's from Wakpala. I'm from Wakpala. And you got, I think Chase is over on the other side of the butte there. So anyway, God bless you. Bless everybody here. This is our day to arise as prophesied. Aho.
Aho. Thank you so much. Thank you, Phil. And I'm going to now turn it over to Jay Mayer. And Jay has kind of a closing song for us. And then I come to Deborah, who will say an official good night. Jay, the spotlight's on.
And good night. Just kidding. It's called Love is the Answer. And you can sing along if you want and join in and clap at the clapping part. It goes like this. Love's the answer. Love's the answer. Love's the answer. Works every time, just like the sunshine. Just like the sunshine. Just like the sunshine. Happens every time, 'cause love's the answer. Love's the answer. Heals all cancers. Works every time. Got to shine like the sun. Shine like the sun. Our time has come to shine like the sun. We got to shine like the sun. Shine like the sun. Our time has come to shine like the sun.
Oh, thank you so much, Jay. Thank you. All right. Well, to say goodnight, I'm going to turn it over to my producer.
Thank you, Scott. And thank you, everyone, all the presenters that were here tonight. Your words were so beautiful. Thank you, everyone that's joining us. Thank you, everyone that's watching the replay and supporting this. And we are definitely all connected in unity. And I think Jay said it right on. Love is the answer, because that's really what was here tonight. A lot of love for the Indigenous people and wisdom who are us, who are all of us. And we are all unified now, unifying now. That's what this world is about. That's what this challenge is about, is to bring us together and really move forward in a unified way. So thank you so much. Please join us next week, where we're going to have another great show. Reimagine and take action, shifting from a world fed by fear to a world led by love. And we're going to have more of that. It's produced in collaboration with Teresa Collins of Global Coherence Pulse. So we invite you to come back again and again, sharing so much love and appreciation. Thank you.
Great. And I want to just remind people one last time about tomorrow morning, where we can really drop in deeper with our Spanish-speaking elders, Calixto, coming to us all the way from Colombia, and Laura, who you met briefly tonight. Adam is going to be back with us. We'll be able to really drop in a conversation with us tomorrow. It's all free. It's all online. 10 o'clock in the morning. You can find it live on Facebook. You can also private message me if you haven't gotten the Zoom room link. If you want to come into the Zoom room, I'll also be posting it on my wall right now on Facebook. So you just go to my wall and see the Zoom room link there. Hope to see a lot of you tomorrow. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Let's have a beautiful weekend. God blessing. And thank you to our elders and to Adam.